There's the American dream and the California dream. There's no Alabama dream. Eat your heart out, Texas, Tennessee, and Florida. This is California. The world looks to us to see that it's possible to live, advance, and prosper together across every conceivable difference. It's what makes this state great, that we don't tolerate that diversity as we once had, but we truly can look today and talk in terms of how we celebrate that diversity.
Well, it is not looking good if you are Governor Gavin Newsom right now. In fact, if you're Gavin Newsom right now, your 2028 presidential dreams are being crushed before your very eyes. Those anti-ICE protests that are all peaceful, according to legacy media, have turned into incredibly dangerous, riot-like scenarios all throughout the state of California. If Governor Gavin Newsom of California and Mayor Karen Bass of Los Angeles can't do their jobs, which everyone knows they can't, then the federal government will step in and solve the problem. Riots and looters the way it should be solved. And as it turns out, that True Social post about Governor Newsom and Karen Bass being absolute failures turned out to be completely correct. And right here on American Advocates, I'm going to recap this entire past weekend and show you step by step each way that he completely failed in restoring law and order to his state and preserving the cities of California, failing ultimately to keep them safe. From burning down our own American flags to parading around with their Mexican flags with pride and joy as they burn down Los Angeles city streets.
And no one is injured, and it doesn't escalate from here. Look at the flag. Yeah, Guy, I see
there it is.
You
Mexican flag can,
The LA riots this past weekend were out of control. An embarrassing display of liberal policy and liberal leadership all across the entire state. So much so that President Donald Trump decided he needed to step in himself and supersede the governor's authority and send in the National Guard himself, which is exactly what he wound up doing. 2,000 units of the National Guard were deployed to Los Angeles over the weekend after Governor Newsom and the LAPD failed to restore law and order to Los Angeles, Compton, and anywhere else in California where these riots are taking place. But you see, Governor Gavin Newsom's failure didn't honestly just end with the requirement for President Donald Trump to step in and take matters into his own hands using the U.S. military. No, honestly, Governor Newsom's biggest failure this entire weekend was his response to everything that was happening, all in real time for the citizens of California and the rest of America to see, posting on X ludicrous statements like this. Trump is sending 2,000 National Guard troops into L.A. County, not to meet an unmet need, but to manufacture a crisis. He's hoping for chaos so he can justify more crackdowns, more fear, more control. Stay calm, never use violence, stay peaceful. He sent that out after I saw countless footage on X of the LA city streets on fire, of explosions happening in Compton, telling the citizens to stay calm, as if they were staying calm to begin with. And what was he even talking about, an unmet need? He's trying to gaslight the citizens of California and of America who are standing by on social media watching it all unfold into thinking that the LAPD had it under control. You see, the biggest problem with the current Liberal Party nowadays is they're still using their gaslighting tactics that were effective 20 years ago, before social media was this prevalent, before you had all these independent journalists out here reporting on the actual truth, and when the liberals had control over 90% of the mainstream legacy media and could employ such tactics successfully. Unfortunately for Gavin Newsom, it doesn't fly anymore, and it just makes him look 10 times worse that he continues to try to gaslight people like this. Nightfall wound up hitting California after that tweet from Gavin Newsom saying that the National Guard wasn't necessary, and this is what the first night of the LA riots wound up looking like. But of course, there was Gavin Newsom on X while all of this was happening during the nighttime in California, stating even more ludicrous things like this. Donald Trump has manufactured a crisis and is inflaming conditions. If he can't solve it, we will. To the bad actors fueling Trump's flames, California will hold you accountable. And again, the tweet makes no sense. How on earth does the president sending in the National Guard to regain law and order and to regain control over the cities from the violent criminal mob that was taking over the streets inflamed things. Gavin Newsom was standing by and doing virtually nothing about this. And don't even get me started on LA Mayor Karen Bass. She's almost a traitor in my mind. She practically encouraged this to happen. I'll probably make a second video all about her in Los Angeles specifically. Look out for that coming soon, and subscribe to American Advocates for future content like that. But while Gavin Newsom insisted that him, Mayor Bass, and the LAPD could handle this on their own, this is what it actually looked like in the Californian streets if you were an LAPD officer trying to get it under control. And these LAPD officers were trapped under this bridge for quite some time. Eventually, I would say maybe an hour or two later, based off of when I remember seeing each individual post pop up, eventually, the rioters succeeded in starting one of the LAPD cruisers on fire while the officers were still trapped under that bridge, having things hurled at them. And all the while this is happening, you have this moronic Californian representative, Judy on CNN stating that the LAPD has it all under control, that they're extremely experienced when it comes to dealing with protesters and riots, and that they didn't need the National Guard. Little does she know, while she's saying this, CNN is running right on the left of the screen, fires and rioting happening in LA that looks very not under control.
And so, yes, the LAPD came in and they called it an unlawful assembly. I believe that the LAPD has this underhand, and they are very, very experienced in riot control. So this is something that they can handle. We do not have to have the National Guard here. We certainly do not have to have the Marines here. This is a manufactured crisis, and we do not need the Insurrection Act, and that is an understatement.
The next day, the National Guard was deployed. They wound up arriving, I believe, in the later evening hours, and they really wound up getting to work the next morning, Sunday morning. Of course, President Donald Trump took to Truth Social, once again stating this: Governor Gavin Newsom and Mayor Bass should apologize to the people of Los Angeles for the absolutely horrible job that they have done. And this now includes the ongoing LA riots. These are not protesters. They are troublemakers and insurrectionists. Remember, no masks. And that's exactly correct. These are not protesters. These are criminals, and they are, in fact, insurrectionists. Many of these are illegal immigrant Mexicans attempting an insurrection against our American government. Thankfully, the National Guard was there all day yesterday on Sunday, trying to regain control over California, LA, Compton, etc., with Marines, not to mention, on standby. But once again, Gavin Newsom's failure continued to escalate. Because how did he respond to all of this yesterday on X? By pinning this tweet on his X account page. I have formally requested the Trump administration rescind their unlawful deployment of troops in Los Angeles County and return them to my command. We didn't have a problem until Trump got involved. This is a serious breach of state sovereignty. He even includes the official paperwork that his attorney has drawn up for him, where he plans to take the Trump administration to court over the use of the National Guard in California. The last paragraph on the second page of this legal paperwork even states, there is currently no need for the National Guard to be deployed in Los Angeles, and to do so in this unlawful manner and for such a lengthy period is a serious breach of state sovereignty that seems intentionally designed to inflame the situation while simultaneously depriving the state from deploying these personnel and resources where they are truly required. Unbelievable. This is all why Gavin Newsom has failed California. After he finished pinning that tweet on his X account, he goes on in an interview to discuss this lawsuit with the Trump administration, saying this.
Donald Trump has created the conditions you see on your TV tonight. He's exacerbated the conditions. He's, lit the proverbial match. He's putting fuel on this fire ever since he announced he was taking over the National Guard. An illegal act, an immoral act, an unconstitutional act, and we're going to test that theory with a lawsuit tomorrow.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Sorry to interrupt you, but Governor, so that's news. If you're going to sue the administration, tell me a little bit about it. Give us a preview of this lawsuit.
Well, under his executive order, it specifically notes, and under what the DOD did, is they had to coordinate with the governor of the state. They never coordinate with the governor of the state.
Meanwhile, while he's insisting the National Guard isn't needed and Trump is inflaming the situation and how he can't wait to sue Trump over this, this is what LA looked like. And if you want to see Gavin Newsom really dig the hole deeper, take a look at this, where he says there are very good people out there. It's almost like the very fine people hoax again, isn't it? But this time on the Democrat side of things.
A lot of great people out there doing the right thing, but you get these insurgent groups coming in, sort of these anarchists that are in there to create real problems. And they're just playing right into Donald Trump's hand. And they need to be called out. They need to be arrested. It is wrong to destroy other people's property, and it is wrong to create the conditions that only exacerbate this. But Donald Trump, at the end of the day, is the sponsor of these conditions.
I mean, this is a classic page out of the Democrat playbook. Trump is the sponsor of all of this. I had nothing to do with it. I'm merely the governor of California. I oversee everything, but this is Trump's fault. He's our president. Give me a break. And as of right now, Sunday night, I am recording this video for Monday morning, and it is only getting worse. Yes, 2,000 National Guard troops are there. They were making a big difference in assisting the LAPD during the day, but unfortunately, crime, criminals, and criminal behavior has a very large tendency to heat up in the evening, especially in the summer evenings. And that's exactly what's been happening in California all this evening. I've been doing my best to keep track of it. Take a look.
Hey!
Widespread looting happening in LA now. The damage has been done, and it's continuing to get worse as well when it comes to rioters targeting the police this evening. They are once again throwing stuff at police officers and at police cruisers as they drive by. And quite honestly, President Donald Trump has seen enough. Right before 1 a.m. this evening, President Donald Trump took to Truth Social again, stating this. Looking really bad in LA. Bring in the troops. And with everything unfolding the way that it has and things getting even worse on the second evening, Gavin Newsom seemingly has absolutely cracked. I think he is beginning to break down at the sight of everything that's happening in California, knowing how bad of a look this is for him as the governor and just how bad it's going to make him look if he tries to run for president in 2028. Because Gavin Newsom, in an interview, lost his mind seemingly and dared President Donald Trump and Tom Homan to arrest him. Take a listen.
Get your hands off these poor people. They're just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes. Been here 10 years. The fear. The horror. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know, I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
The bottom line is, this is what it looks like to fail. This is what liberal policies, liberal procedures, and liberal politicians get you. Absolute destruction, chaos, and mayhem. This photo, I think, just showcases what I think of when I think of California at this point in time. Nothing patriotic, nothing American. I don't think of the beaches. I don't even think of In-N-Out Burger. I think of this disgusting setting, this disgusting scene, smoke-filled air from cars on fire, from mass rioting, from law enforcement not being effective enough to be able to stop it, and some disgusting, very likely illegal immigrant waving a foreign flag on an American street. This is the last update I have for Sunday evening of what's currently going on. It appears the LAPD headquarters is now being targeted by rioters, and they are breaking the windows out, and God only knows what else they have planned for it. I'll leave you with this clip. Thank you very much for watching. Like the video and comment down below. Tell me what you think about Gavin Newsom as a governor. Should he resign after this? Let's be honest, he probably should. Also, subscribe to American Advocates unless you're a Democrat that thinks Gavin Newsom's a good governor, which I'm sure a lot of Democrats do, in which point dislike the video, please, and never come back.